You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Today's video has a sponsor. And you know what that sponsor is? The sponsor is laughing at the misfortunes of others. Now, look, I know that's a bad thing to say, but hey, I'll freely admit I love laughing at the misfortunes of others, especially when the others may in fact be influencers, and not only influencers, but finance influencers. You ever go to Tip Top? Tip Top? Yep, sorry, that was the retirement home telling me to check in. It's a little after 7. I'm getting old. But if you go to TikTok and type in the word top crypto, you'll probably come across a bunch of top 10 cryptocurrencies and what they do. Top 3 to buy in 2022. Top 3 boom 20. Now look, if you actually follow the advice that's presented to you on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, anything, without going to somebody that's like licensed, then there's no real way to sugarcoat this. You're not exactly the smartest tool in the shed, okay? You know, call this financial natural selection or a fool parts with their money. I'm just going to be straight up real with you, okay? Anytime you see an influencer tell you about a get-rich-quick scheme and you're not running away and you think, maybe this might be the one, well, goddamn, the education system has fucking failed you, my friend, let me tell you. Now, before we continue into this, I don't want to start some turf war in the comment section. Look, I believe cryptocurrency and these Web3 technologies are the future, you know, obviously. However, I will say, with the unregulated nature, there's a lot of scams and shenanigans that happen. One such shenanigan involves over $3.5 billion worth of cryptocurrency being stolen and possibly allegedly laundered. Now, to understand, I would say 99.9% of the people watching this video have probably never seen over $1 billion, okay? Unless Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or insert whatever Wikipedia billionaire exists, all right? No one here has seen over $1 billion. Now, to understand conceivably laundering that would take two goddamn geniuses, right? Well, the alleged geniuses in this case, all right, who go by the name of Heather Morgan and Ilya Lichtenstein, may not exactly be the smartest blokes you've ever seen. You might be wondering, whoa, these people might be like Marty Bird from the Ozarks, some like real launder heavy shit going on, some like real experts if they're being accused of such a heinous activity. To which, let's go look at exactly what happened, okay? Let's go back in the memory rabbit hole. The first crumb of our story rabbit hole takes us to a site known as Bitfinex. Back in 2016, Bitfinex actually suffered a massive hack, which resulted in the loss of, I believe around the time it was worth to be $70 million worth of cryptocurrency just stolen away from the network, okay? It was gone. It was removed. In fact, because of this, Bitcoin dropped 20% after what they claimed $70 million worth of Bitcoin was stolen from the actual exchange. From what it appeared to be, the actual system was compromised, okay? The actual exchange was compromised. And whether they went through the security provider BitGo at the time, Bitfinex, because of a compromise on their system, around 2,000 wallets were actually tapped into. Money was basically grabbed, withdrawn, stolen away from Bitfinex. Now, of course, it wasn't exactly isolated how it happened, who exactly the money got stolen from out of those various wallets that were compromised. It was just a bad thing for crypto in general. And to correct myself actually on this, I believe it wasn't 2,000 accounts that the money was stolen from. I think it was 2,000 accounts that the money was eventually sort of disseminated to, as far as I understand. From what I realized in Bitfinex, it was something entirely internal where like a chunk of users had their Bitcoin compromised. It was a issue in how they handled their security procedures on withdrawals and like how they handled internally processing all of that Bitcoin. Which, if you ever deal with cryptocurrencies or anything of that nature, then please do the smart thing and have a hardware wallet, like actually have a real wallet that you can control on yourself and store on your own, in a safe, in a safety deposit box, up your asshole, I don't care, do something. But if you start trusting online exchanges, then you're opening yourself up to basically being at the mercy of their own security protocols. But anyways, Bitfinex got hacked in 2016 and Bitcoin went down, and frankly for this company it was a big giant black eye that they received. Even back then, when they were asking Bitfinex about the security breach 6 years ago, they literally said, there are limits in place to restrict the amount of Bitcoin that could have been signed for a withdrawal. We're still trying to investigate how these limits were happening. Look, I'm not trying to conspiracy theory my way out of it, but it was definitely a very questionable situation. And if back then 2016 Muda was like, hey, stick your money in Bitfinex, dude, I'd stick my cock in a pencil sharpener before I even did that. Let me tell you, even to this day, I still wouldn't risk it. So what do you do when you steal $70 million worth of Bitcoin from one giant massive exchange into one little Bitcoin wallet? Well, you don't do anything, because the power of the blockchain basically makes sure that everything was recorded. Look, like the old saying goes, women lie, men lie, everything lies, but the blockchain does not lie, okay? The blockchain is a public ledger of every transaction on the Bitcoin chain that has ever actually happened. So basically, if you send like $2 to somebody, it'll be there for time memoriam, or as long as the blockchain is active. And the same can be said for any transaction. Obviously, processing this entire ledger takes a big chunk of processing power, but it allows us to have, well, basically no anonymity, or rather pseudo-anonymity. As long as you don't know somebody's actual Bitcoin wallet address, typically transactions are anonymized, okay? You can see exactly how much money is moving around, but you can't exactly properly isolate who that person is, okay? It is pseudo-anonymous in nature. So when you have that much money sitting in an account, how do you actually get it out? How do you launder the money? Now, when we talk about money laundering in the terms of Bitcoin worlds, okay, we're talking about converting that money from Bitcoin currency into actual US dollars, Canadian dollars, Japanese yen, actual currency that you can use to buy anything. Look, if you want to buy a house, IRS wouldn't let you do it, okay, unless you can prove where that money came from. You want to buy anything worth of value, IRS won't let you until you actually can prove how you got that, okay? A lot of these laws and places are put in so that we can actually stop things like terror financing or just financing bad criminal organizations in general, or making sure that the money that we're using is actually clean, so it's not just moved around. Money laundering is an intricate form of criminal activity, okay? And in order to do it from cryptocurrency, we have to find a way to get that Bitcoin turned into actual cold hard cash. So how do we do it? Well, let's see exactly what had happened. Now, to understand how the US government actually ran against these two people, where they found out when they seized this amount of money initially, to the tune of like, what was it, 98,000 Bitcoin. Now again, it inflated in value from like millions of dollars into billions, okay? I think at some point it was worth around like 3.55 billion, but it only ever grew from there. Basically, they actually detail it right here, tracing the stolen BTC to Liechtenstein and Morgan. So first, to wallet 1CGA4S, an unhosted wallet containing over 2,000 Bitcoin addresses, which were saved along with their associated private keys in Liechtenstein's cloud storage account, where the stolen funds remained dormant until January 2017. So the way that this worked is that money was stolen, stored in a wallet somewhere, and just stayed there running dormant. Because here's the thing, okay? You can't just start moving that money around. The moment you do it, it's going to start showing up on transactions. Now, because this was stolen from Bitfinex and actual major exchanges, all those Bitcoins actually have hashes. They have identities to each of those coins. By taking those identities, you could actually blacklist a big chunk of these coins. So going to big giant exchanges became a big difficulty for them. Unless, of course, you were going to like smaller, weirder exchanges. But again, because these Bitcoins were blacklisted, any attempt to move them through exchanges would definitely raise up red flags out there. So the way that it started moving was slowly trickling out in 2017, where it went to one of the Alpha Bay markets. So if you don't know Alpha Bay, it's a dark web market where basically people sell illegal stuff. It started moving slowly through there. When that got shut down in 2017, they started moving to other markets like Hydra, which is a Russian-owned market out there. So the way, again, this is just a way to trickle money out to begin with. But again, that's just one aspect, okay? When we come to the magical world of money movement and laundering, there's a million routes that these people took. The US DOJ alleges that what they had actually done was, allegedly, had created multiple accounts with fictitious identities. Again, if you move, you can't just move billions of dollars to one account. That triggers any FDIC regulator. That triggers any financial, assessment agency out there. Any regulator. So what they do is they take small micro amounts, like $500, $1,000, basically small amounts that wouldn't even fly, into the vision of the IRS radar, SEC, or any financial organization watching it. No regulator was really going to be picking up on that. They would then move the stolen funds in a series of very tiny amounts using computer programs to automate transactions. Very small amounts, and they did many of these allegedly through computer programs. So again, this is just a very common technique to launder these amounts of money slowly but in sort of a drip feed way. You can't just go it all through. You have to funnel it through a very tiny drip feed and in small amounts so it doesn't, again, trigger anybody. Then you layer those funds by depositing them into a variety of VCEs and darknet markets. So again, this is where Alphabay and Hydra and a bunch of those markets came up there. That may not be the only ones. So basically what you're trying to do is you're obfuscating the trail of that transaction history by breaking up the flow, how you're moving the flow, and where you're moving the flow, okay? Then you have to convert Bitcoin to various other currencies, so Ethereum, and basically by switching chains, which is a very common way of like trying to obfuscate. Basically by switching from Bitcoin to Ethereum and back and whatnot, what you're trying to do is making the flow so confusing that it's going to make investigators basically lose any hope of trying to find the origin point of this money, okay? You might be wondering too, Muda, how is it that using something like Bitcoin, which records every bit of transaction, do you actually find a way to launder? Is it eventually going to be found out? And while you're right, it's true, when you do things like chain hopping and moving from various accounts and using multiple methods of obfuscating the actual transaction flow, that's where the issues come out. For instance, when it comes to chain hopping and switching between random currencies, yes, it was tough, but now there are companies like TRM Forensics, and again, I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but this is something like, Crystal Blockchain, a tool that I used for the Roobet video, where basically it's a way for us to quickly visualize money flow, okay? Because remember, if we were to do this by hand, like back in the day when I did Save the Kids with CoffeeZilla, yeah, we were sitting over there looking at this by hand. We had no idea this technology was there. So basically, by using this technology, it really cuts down on the amount of work. Basically, this whole thing is a cat and mouse game. You have to play catch up with these people, but that's one way. Now, it wasn't until February 8th, about 2 days ago, that the US DOJ straight up said, "Boys, we got them."
As cryptocurrency becomes widely adopted, we must prevent its use in money laundering, illicit darknet transactions, ransomware attacks, and other crimes that impact all of us.
Hell yeah, you couldn't have said that in a more boring tone, let me tell you. But hey, who knows? It's the Justice Department, okay? Not exactly known to be the most exciting. But yeah, she's not wrong. There's been a lot of cyber attacks that have happened recently where like ransomware is kicked in, and Bitcoin is used as a great way to always, be a nice way to decentralize the currency that we have. Don't get me wrong. Bitcoin is just a technology. The blockchain is just a technology. It can be used for good and evil. A lot of good comes from the fact that we can actually now tangibly own our money without it being tied to a central banking system. However, the downside is a lot of bad actors use the same technology to finance hacks, to finance really evil things and whatnot, okay? Technology is not terrible. Human beings turn technology into terrible uses, okay? That's just how it works. But effectively, that's United States government seized that money. And in doing so, they actually alleged that these two people, again, Liechtenstein and our good old friend Heather Morgan, were the ones allegedly laundering this. Well, now, who the fuck are these geniuses? Well, believe it or not, one of them is a rap god. To understand, this is the kind of people that were apparently allegedly running such a scheme. Now, Razzle Khan is believed to be the infamous crocodile of Wall Street. Strikes again! I'm sure there's a prosecutor out there that's just laughing at all of this. More fearless and more shameless than ever before, she's taking on everyone from big software companies to healthcare to finance bros. Oh, god damn. About Raz. Raz is like Genghis Khan, but with more pizzazz. Ooh, part of me died. No one knows for sure where this rapper's from. Could be North Africa, the jungles of Vietnam, or another universe. All that matters is she's here to stick up for misfits and underdogs everywhere. We do know that she's descended from a nomadic tribe, though. Alright, we're getting some lore. Because Raz has synesthesia, her art often resembles something in between an acid trip and a delightful nightmare. Definitely not for the faint of heart or easily offended. Raz likes to push the limits of what people are comfortable with. Her style has often been described as sexy horror comedy because of her fondness for combining dark and disturbing concepts with dirty jokes and gestures. Oh boy! What's the fearless entrepreneurial spirit and hacker mindset? Girl, you best have the best lore in the world. The U.S. does not take kindly to jokes after you've been indicted. So here we've got some music, because remember, Raz is a rapper, okay? And she's not just a software CEO, okay? Now, to understand, okay, Raz isn't just a rapper, okay? She's also a software CEO, a writer, an economist, and a shitty web designer. I'll let you figure out which one she's the best at, okay? Now, she's made such amazing music like Versace Bedouin?
Bedouin.
Okay, to understand, anytime a rapper comes out with you with like a brand name like Versace, I literally heard a song on the radio about some guy wanting a dab of ranch with his rollie. It's a bad rap song. Okay, I don't even understand what are you gonna do with a Rolex watch and a dab of ranch? I don't understand. What are you gonna do with Versace? Let's watch this. Okay, Christ. Now, what you're actually watching over here is a 3-minute and 42-second video, almost 4 minutes, of what the United States government may potentially classify as torture material. I actually think that by showing you this music video, I may potentially be sent to, like, The Hague for committing a war crime on my viewers, because let me tell you right now, this music has killed more brain cells than alcohol and Agent 47, alright? It's not a good situation to be in. But yeah, she was a rapper. She was on Wall Street, okay? Unfortunately, the same shot belongs in this music video and Metal Gear Solid 2. So clearly, duality of systems. The music itself isn't good. I literally cannot listen to it without wanting to fucking die. So I'm actually going to stop it right here. Rather be taking a taxidermy class. Prefer Vietnam over France. Doing my jerk-off dance. Holy hell. You know, this shit... I don't even think GTA 5 is a parody. You know, I'm sorry. GTA 5 is reality at this point, okay? God has truly abandoned our kind. And you know what? I'm on God's side on that one. Fuck human beings. Of course, Razzle Khan's music wasn't exactly super poppin', okay? As you can see, she's pulling in 9,000 viewers on Versace Beijing, okay? That hashtag never went anywhere, okay? God damn. You've also got California Rolls. Please go fund yourself. And they're sitting at a toasty 2,500 viewers. But hey, she's passionate about art, okay? All right? I wonder what kind of art. Is it the shitty monkey NFTs? I don't know. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, she, with her massive 10K, view clout, she definitely wants to support artists so they can get maybe 10 views. Who knows? Of course, Razzle Khan has decided to offer no videos. Okay, I wonder why. All right, I cannot imagine. But one thing to note is she also has another channel. All right, it seems. Pick the wrong major. Don't worry, this will save you. So here you've got sales folk with like less than 1,000 subscribers. And here you can see that Heather apparently seems to be running another business. Or she's teaching. And usually when people teach with shitty channels like this, it's because they're not successful in whatever that they do, okay? I'm just saying what it is. You ever see an actual successful financial advisor teach you? No, they're too busy actually succeeding in the world of finance. Stop using bullet points in cold emails. Don't include bullet points or numbered lists in sales prospecting emails. Oh shit, oh god, oh fuck no. Is it those stupid emails I get in my junk folder all the time? Hi, Mr. Some Ordinary Gamers, we really love your channel. We'd like to partner our epic banger game with you, Raid Shadow. No. I just love going onto their whole like pages, like Heather, they're verified. Oh god, they're always gotta be the verified ones, and they got like 24,000 followers almost. I mean, Wang's over there, but I mean, Wang follows anybody at this point. You have enemies? Good. That means you stood up for something in your life. Churchill quote. That was 2015, and she pulled less than 500 likes. I bet you anything that goes over like 30 likes on this page, like, damn, this is doing numbers. Everyone is Fusion faking it, so don't be so goddamn hard on yourself. Laugh at the absurdity of the whole thing. What the fuck is Razlism? No, what is that, okay? What is that? Anytime somebody tells you to hashtag love yourself, no, all right? Stop it, all right? Is that a religion? Are we trying to get, like, tax exemption status? Is this another avenue? I don't know. I'm gonna let the DOJ figure that out. But yeah, I initially thought the two alleged launderers would be completely intelligent, but it seems like we've got dumb and even fucking dumber involved into this situation. If you ever have this amount of money moving around and you're allegedly known for, like, you're allegedly on the hunt because the government thinks you're laundering, the last thing that I would do is try to make myself even associated with brands like Versace, or really any luxury brand for that matter. Because when the government's on your ass like that and they're calling in these indictments, listen, it's all innocent until proven guilty. Look, the Department of Justice can be entirely wrong, but with the amount of money that was stolen and the amount of egg the DOJ would have on their face for a bullshit accusation would absolutely not be worth it. Whatever the DOJ has is some pretty serious compelling evidence. And I have to imagine in the next year, probably when this case is going to be settled, because cases like this take a long time. Then we'll start to see the true scope of the situation, and maybe the people who lost their money may end up getting it back in some capacity. who knows? But what I do know, ladies and gentlemen, is that this might be one of the dumbest tales that I've ever found regarding cryptocurrencies. Imagine using a framework that is already unanonymous by design. Everyone can see where the money goes, all right, and being dumb enough to even link yourself slightly to it. Well, we've witnessed what can happen. You know, people have always said when we're covering things like scams and whatnot, or like influencer scams, we're like, does the government actually do anything? Look, this happened back in 2016, and just now the government has actually started laying down some charges, some indictments, putting up court dates. So this stuff takes a while, okay? Sometimes it can take 5-6 years. Sometimes it can take 10 years. But once you've pissed in Uncle Sam's coffee, Uncle Sam's going to find you no matter what, and they're going to make a fucking example of you. So what I have learned is when you are involved in cryptocurrency stuff, definitely don't raise more attention to yourself if, again, you have actually been doing something wrong. Hey, for all I know, Heather Morgan and Elias Lichtenstein could be completely innocent individuals. But let's see what the DOJ can present. And if the DOJ actually puts a nail on the coffin, then I want to be on top of the grave laughing till I'm fucking gray in the hair. That said, though, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar. And if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I'm gonna go enjoy sweet fucking freedom. Woo! Let's go, baby.